Hello, my dear students. After a long gap, we are coming back. Unfortunately, it is online class, so we are not able to meet face to face. But because of the pandemic, because of the present scenario, it is lockdown. Therefore, we come together through this media. We have no other option, so we'll try to get maximum benefit from this class and try to learn your lessons. And when the situation becomes a favorable one, we'll meet again in the classroom and we'll try to get maximum knowledge. And today we shall start from where we stopped last. And we were studying last, you remember, political life, lesson number 9, where we are talking about public facilities. We said about a lot of public facilities that are taken up by the government, like electricity, water supply, transport, all these things. And we were specifically focusing on the topic water supply. And we saw the example of Chennai city. People who are living in different locations in Chennai city, how the water is made available to them. People who are officers, people who are rich, they are able to have water more than enough for them. They are able to even water the lawn in front of their house. They are able to water the plants and so on. While people living in other parts of Chennai, they get water supply only once in 2 days, some places only once in 3 days or once in a week, and even for drinking purpose they have to buy water. So on the one side there is so much of availability of water for the rich and affordable, and while water is not available for the poor or people who are living in the colonies and so on. So that all shows how the government treats the people differently. Influential people are treated very well, they are supplied with everything, while the poor people, the uninfluential people, they are made to suffer, or they are made to find their own way even in these essential facilities like water and so on. So today let us study about the water supply to Chennai, whether it is available to all or not. You can also follow in your textbook, page number 113, 113. The title is Water Supply to Chennai, is it available to all? That is a topic that we are going to deal with. So you can also open your textbook, follow it in your textbook. So listen to what I say, at the same time also listen to your textbooks, so that you'll be able to remember in your mind as well. Otherwise only listening alone is not enough, also follow it in your own textbooks as well. And we saw the different examples, and we have come to the conclusion that water is not supplied equally to everyone. It is supplied to the influential people more, and the poor people are made to fend for their own. So it is not equally supplied at all. And we know it is a must. Water supply is a must for sustaining the life, because in the Constitution of India we study about right to life. So just saying everyone has got the right to live, that alone is not enough. It is the government's duty to provide everything that is needed to sustain life. So water is needed to sustain life, food is needed to sustain life, shelter is needed to sustain life. So all these things are part of a right to life. Without these things, just giving the right to life is not enough. People will die, they cannot live. So it is the duty of the government to make sure that this water supply is given to all, it is made available to all. Then only people can really realize that right to life. And it is, as you know, it is a very great important thing. And the beginning of this lesson, you remember we met in the classroom and we saw that different examples that in many places water supply there is shortage in the city of Chennai. And there is different departments of the government are there. So municipality is there, panchayat is there, and so on. So they are all not able to supply to all the needs of the people. Some people are able to get, especially people who are living in the town and so on. But people who are living in the slums, people who are living in the colonies, they are not able to get water supply regularly. The water that they receive is very, very less, not sufficient for surviving. And we can say the municipality supply able to satisfy the needs of only half of the people in the city. We can say on an average basis, if you say the municipality supply of water is able to satisfy the needs of only half of the people, then what about the other half? Who will satisfy them? Who will provide for them? Then the areas, there are areas we said they get more regular water supply, maybe every day they get, but some places they get water only once in 2 days, once in 3 days, or even once in a week, and so on. There is a lot of disparity is there, inequality is there. Then when the municipality is not able to supply water for all, whom will they give priority? They are able to, we said, they are able to give water supply to only half of the people. So who are these half of the people who get water from the municipality? Are they the poor people or the rich people? Normally it will be the influential people who will be able to get the benefit from this municipality water supply. So the rich people will be able to get it. And very often the ignored people, the abandoned people, they are the poor ones. So they are not able to get it. They have to find out some other means. Maybe they have to find some kind of polluted water, or they have to go miles and miles to fetch the water, and so they have to find their own way in order to find the water. So very often it is rich people, they are able to get the benefit from the government and so on. And people who are part of this middle class, that means they are not so rich and those not so poor, the average class, the middle class, what happens to them? So when they face with water shortage, they are able to cope through a variety of private means, such as digging borewells, buying water from the tankers, and use bottled water for drinking and so on. So people who are rich, we said, they will be the one getting benefit from the municipality. So they will get water supply every time. Then people who are not so rich and not so poor, that is the middle class, what do they do when they don't have water? They will try some other means, because they are not so poor, they have some money in their hand. So with the money that is available in their hand, they will try some different ways of getting water. Maybe they will buy water from somewhere, from the private companies. There are people who are supply water with water tanker. So they will give money and buy water with a tanker, or if they have money they will dig a well, or they can make a tube well or a bore well. So they will dig some kind of well and try to find out some water source for themselves. So for that they need money to dig the well and so on. So only people who have got some kind of money in their hands, some sorts of money in their hand only will be able to do it. So the poor, they are not able to do it because they don't have money to buy water, they don't have money to dig well and so on. But the middle class, those who are not so rich and not so poor, but they can manage, they have some kind of saving in their hand. With that money they use and get water for themselves. And some people even buy mineral water in the bottles. So that is how they manage. But the poor people, they will be suffering again, they will be abandoned again, and they will have to find out their own source of water supply. So we also know that how important is water for sustaining life. So just drinking any type of water is not enough. We need to make sure that the water that we drink is pure, it is not polluted and so on. Drinking impure water or polluted water is more harmful to the health. So it is the duty of the government to make sure water is available, not just any type of water, but safe water. There should be safe drinking water should be available, and it should be people should be able to afford to that, not just making it available on very high price, then the people will not be able to buy. If you go to airport and so we can see one bottle, half a liter of mineral water is costing 100 rupees, 200 rupees and so on. So that is too high. The ordinary people cannot afford that. So it is a duty of the government to make sure that water, safe drinking water is made available at a cheaper price. That is more very important from the part of the government to make sure that water is available, because water is essential for life. Without good water we cannot survive. If you drink dirty water or polluted water, then we will get sick. We will not be able to have good health. We will have to go to hospital, we have to spend a lot of money for medicine and so on. So in order to avoid that, we need to drink very good water. Then also it is also noticed by the global community. The whole world realizes that the poor people are often suffering due to lack of water. They are the one, they have to go far away for fetching water, carrying water and so on. So hours and hours they have to carry water, one bucket of water, and they have to walk such a long time. So all that is affecting. So very often we can hear in the world, we can hear there's a lot of drought is there. Every year drought season is there, and poor people, they are the one suffering. They are the one dying out of thirst, out of drought and so on, not the rich people. That means the poor people health is or life is not guaranteed. They have to struggle by themselves to find food, to find water and so on. They are the one suffering. So it is the government's duty to provide life security for the people by providing water, by making the safe drinking water available, not only to the rich but also to the middle class, to the poor and so on. Everyone should be able to receive the benefits of the government, not only those who have got money, but even those who are poor, those who have no land, those who are staying in the slums. Everyone should be able to receive the benefits of the government, because government is for all. Everyone is the citizen of that country, and therefore everyone has got equal right to receive the benefits from the government. But very often, these things are not taking place. It is the government very often doing what they like, or they support people who are influential, people who are able to give them more support, and so on. That way, the poor people who are not influential, people who are not able to receive the those who don't have much influence to put pressure on the government, they are often left out. They are the one living. They are the one left out by not able to receive or not being benefited from the programs of the government. And we can see in your own textbook, there's a picture given here. You can see how a poor lady is searching for water in the rural areas, how dry is that surrounding areas. That shows the seriousness of this drought, how important water is. Without that we cannot survive. So it is, many people are there, especially in the cities and so on, people who are offering water service, water supply. People carry water in the tankers and supply, and people who are carrying in the small vehicles, in the syntax tanks and supplying. All that requires money, because it is all carried out by the private companies, private people. But government is supposed to carry out these things free of cost to the people, to help them to get access to the water in order to survive in their daily life. Just as we saw in many places in Chennai, people are suffering due to lack of water. Many of them are even staying in the rent house. They don't have their own house, and they don't have their own well. They don't have their own land. So they are just staying in the rent house and completely, totally depending on this water supply, which comes only once in a week, or sometimes after 3 days in a week, and so on. And people are still not able to live with that little supply from the government. They have to spend all their earnings, all their savings on this purpose for purchasing water and so on. So government needs to be more active, proactive towards people, to know the needs of the people, to provide water so that they will be able to survive in their daily life. They will be able to live their normal life and so on. So it is said that many villages in Chennai, they are using a fleet of over 13,000 water tankers. So in Chennai itself, 13,000 water tankers are carrying water to meet the needs of the people. And every month the water dealers pay farmers in advance and for rights to exploit water sources on their land. So how do these people carry 13,000 water tankers? We said in the town people are struggling for water. There is no enough water. But these private companies, they can find out water sources. 13,000 tankers means you can imagine how many liters of water. So one tanker will be containing some 7,000, 8,000 liters of water. So 13,000 tankers carrying so much water. We can multiply and see how many liters of water is available. So actually water is available, but people are not able to get benefit. So what do these private companies do? They give some advance to the poor farmers. For what? To make agreement that the farmers will give them permission to dig the well in their compound or in their land, and these companies will be allowed to take water. So poor farmers, they are not able to survive with the little income that they have. So they accept the offer these private companies are giving. So private companies will in turn come and dig well there and take out water from their land and go and supply to the towns, cities, and get a lot of money. So in that course of action, digging well, the water level, the ground water level will go down because so much water is taken out every day from the land. So all the surrounding becomes dry, the farm becomes very dry, the farmers are not able to cultivate, the underground water level will go down and down. So a lot of problems are there. The farmers are being cheated by these rich business people who do business on this water, and so they are not able to improve in their life. They get little money, and for that they have to make such a great sacrifice. The water from their compound is carried and supplied to the city, and so on. That's a way the farmers are being cheated every day. Then so it is the duty, the responsibility of the government to make sure that the groundwater level is not exploited too much. So we can take out groundwater, but it should not be taken out too much so as to the water level is sinking down so much. That should not be allowed. That will affect the farmers, that will affect the entire water supply, because the water level is going down too much. We should keep certain level of the groundwater. If it is sinking below that, if it is going down below that, it is going to affect the water supply, the farming, everything is going to be affected, and the land become dry and dry. The drought will become more and more serious. So it is the duty of the government to make sure that the groundwater is not exploited too much, and the water level is kept to the required level, and government find out some source to supply water to equally to everyone, not only to the rich or not to the middle, but even to the poor. Everyone should be supplied water equally to the required amount, so that people can live to a certain satisfied level. Otherwise they will be struggling, and they will be at the end dying. Their health will become weak, and they will not be able to work well, and so on. So if the country has to improve, then government has to make sure that it is done. Government is doing their duty well, that is, in this case, supplying safe drinking water to everyone. Then we can say the drought death will come down in our country. The farmers will be able to work harder, and the field will be able to produce better, and the country will be on the way to progress, will be able to get more and more progress economically and the physically as well. So today we shall just end with this much, and the next day we will find out, and we will study again what are the alternatives in supplying water and so on. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day. We will meet you again the next day. Bye.